Uh-oh, there's a hole in my motor. There's also a hole in my piston and a hole in my head.
About to be.
About to be. There's a hole in that cylinder head, and there might be a hole in this head here pretty soon. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be discussing the damage report from Scheid Diesel Extravaganza on this YouTube video, and why there's a massive hole in my truck that we just had in the burnout pit at Scheid, and what we heard. We are missing many things here.
Yep.
We are missing the engine and the turbos, or turbo, singular.
Turbo.
We might put 2 back on it later.
Or 3.
We're also, maybe 3. You may notice though, we're also missing the transmission and the transfer case. And that is because we decided, we're like, hey, you know, why waste a perfectly good full billet 1,000 horsepower rated transmission when we could throw it in a truck that needs a transmission to do burnouts? So we pulled it, put it in the burnout truck.
Sitting over there.
Well, I didn't think we hurt the transmission. It took the burnout like a champion. It did not take it like a champion. Yeah, it's very hurt. Called Warren today actually, and they said, sounds like I smoked the pump housing, and probably the overdrive clutches because it probably had low line pressure. So he said we're looking like, you know, $2,000 to $3,000 to fix it, which is still not bad. And that includes a full refresh and any updated parts. So he said they're gonna look at the input shaft, look at the converter. We're actually gonna pull the converter, send it to GoRen, have them restall it. Unfortunately, the transmission was hurt during the burnout as well. Engine is cooked and the body's shot. So we're pretty much starting from scratch. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow our other pages. So thank you guys. All right, so here's a little bit of aftermath footage from Scheid Diesel. This thing got hot. That pipe used to look like that pipe. Yeah, this turbo's supposed to spin. It no spinny spawn spinner. Yeah, not very good. And I don't know if I have an injector stuck open or what, or if it's just because the turbine is so seized up in the housing that it's just completely screwed, but kind of what I expected. I knew we locked the turbo up. That's a cheap turbo anyway, not really a good quality one, but poor truck has seen better days. But we are gonna build this thing back bigger and better than ever. It's going to be getting a full fiberglass front clip, getting rid of the whole front nose. We're gonna relocate our coolers to the bed, put a water to air out front, and we're gonna switch this to an 85 mil with a big spool jet, switch into full V-band or the Warlock style clamps instead of having these the boots and T-bolts. We're really gonna step this thing up, get a better nitrous system. Instead of having it on a switch, we're gonna have it on a progressive controller. And we are still sticking with the 6.4 Power Stroke for our drag truck. But yeah, blew through those tires pretty quick in about 30 seconds, but this frame, this body, this chassis and engine, pretty much everything's cooked. Transmission is in fantastic shape. So I will say that. Differentials are fantastic as well. Fast fuel system, hanging in there, buddy. Then we've got our new trans coolers, our battery trays, so all this stuff, cabling, and everything is going to get switched over to our new donor truck. This is a fully built 6.4 Power Stroke, but it got hot and there was so much smoke I couldn't see my temps. So, you know, it was kind of a stupid move on me, but hey, we had fun. We enjoyed the season, and we're gonna build it back bigger, better than ever. And we're going to do some major cooling system upgrades. That's one problem we've been having with both of our 6.4s, is they get hot way too fast. So, you know, our burnout 6.4, we have the thermostats pulled and it still gets too hot. You know, we really don't know why they're generating so much heat in such a short period of time compared to like a Cummins, or I don't know about Duramax if they take a long time to cool up or not, but we just can't keep them cool. So I don't know what the ultimate solution is. We're gonna figure it out, because I really love the 6.4 platform. I think they sound great. I think they have a lot of potential for power. So we're gonna stick with it and keep bringing it back better and better every year. This is gonna be probably the last you'll see of this body and chassis, this engine setup. It's getting yanked out and it's getting dropped into the new donor truck. Now the new truck is a 2012, so when you see us out on the track and you're like, oh, Nate switched to a 6.7 body or a 6.7 Power Stroke. Nope, we are sticking with the 6.4. We are gonna be trying to become very innovative with these trucks and try and figure, I mean, a lot of the things have already been figured out, but I don't wanna just build a track truck only. I want this thing to be able to have a 1,500 horse 6.4 that we could drive to California and back. Maybe you'd wanna see us do that. That'd be something once we get this thing fully built, we drive it across country. You know, I want it to be where it can still be a street truck. That's not gonna look like a street truck because it will have a cage and all that, but we're gonna always keep it road legal. We'll probably have it so we can turn the power down so we don't have anything happen like what we had last time. Maybe it won't be this truck specifically, but I wanna build a hot street 6.4 that you can still drive cross country and back, put it in a show, put it in an event, and know that it's solid enough to make it home. There you have it. That's the little update on our race truck and the plans for the future. Got the shop truck motor coming out today. So far, the damage we have found is a melted down turbo. Technically, the turbo didn't melt down. We just had some aluminum chunks run through the turbo. Once we pulled it out of the housing, there's actually no damage to the actual turbocharger. So we could technically pull and slap a new turbine in this charger, but we've been wanting to upgrade it to a S485 precision charger anyway. So we're just gonna go ahead and swap that out while we got this whole thing tore down. As far as engine damage, we're actually not 100% sure what is melted yet. I'm assuming we roasted the cylinder heads and the pistons because they are both aluminum, but we shall find out very shortly, and we will update with a damage report here in the next couple hours. Oh, the top of the, oh, that's crazy. I gotta send that into kill double. Ha! It wasn't my fault. The top of the valve stem where the retainer holds snapped off. That's 100%.
Oh my god, it did.
It snapped off.
What the fuck?
That means the valve wasn't.
It's supposed to look like that. Clearly you're not supposed to be able to take it off.
Is that what it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here's what we got so far. We know for sure, first of all, we lost the piston ring on cylinder 4. This is probably the top combustion ring. However, I believe the point of failure was actually this valve snapping off the where the valve retainers go. There's supposed to be a groove here that holds this, and it looks like this actually snapped off, and that's what caused our point of failure. So we know for sure the driver's side is completely fine. You know, melted pistons, no damage, no oil coming out of the exhaust manifold, but quite a bit of a catastrophic failure on the passenger side. That would be engine's backwards, but we have metal chunks in our intake manifold. We got to just pull this head off and see what went wrong in there. But for sure, that's a problem that we had our valve keepers was completely snapped off. I mean, we have heavy duty valve springs. This is the Kill Devil. Oh, here it is.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so there's that. I kind of want to send that into Kill Devil. Like, hey, check this out. Like, the valve actually broke. Yeah, they're black oxide, nitride, titanium, some crazy. I mean, I'm sure it got hot, and it's a race truck, so I'm not really mad about it. But I thought I'd simply just melted a piston, and I was like, that sucks. But apparently, it wasn't just that. Dang. Well, there you have it, guys. That is what I call messed up.
And it still drove in the shop. Sort of.
Oh, kind of. It did, and then it didn't, and then it did, and then it didn't, and then it didn't. Well, we've got 7 good pistons, 1 good cylinder head, other head completely trashed. Definitely, I don't think it started from a melted piston, to be honest. Well, good thing we got a spare block in the trailer. We got piston, that's an intake valve, it looks like an exhaust valve. 1 and 1. Well, there you have it. How to hurt a 6.4. Hold it on limiter for 30 seconds. A little bit more of an update. Got the engine tore down a little bit further. Got both of the cylinder heads off. We already know the damage we got on the driver's side, but pulled the passenger side down. Front 3 pistons look great. The back one has some piston erosion, and that's probably just from heat from an extended period of time on cylinder 8. Now cylinder 7 looks perfectly fine. And again, you know, this one, we're kind of thinking it was just a valve stem failure. But this would have been just from high EGTs for an extended period of time. I think we've discussed that before. When you have, you know, these have piston cooling jets on the backside that are keeping the engine cool when you have high engine oil temperature from just extended, you know, high RPM, along with, you know, a lot of fuel and a lot of air going into the cylinder. You know, you'll get high exhaust gas temperatures, and that's what leads to melting a piston. So fortunately, I mean, I don't think that would have done any permanent damage to this cylinder head. The face of the head looks in good shape. The piston is damaged. We're gonna send both of these cylinder heads to Kill Devil Diesel and see if hopefully they can salvage this one. You know, this set of Icon aluminum Raceport big valve heads are around $6,000 for the set of the both. And hopefully, you know, we can save this one. This one's trashed for sure. No question about that. Hopefully we can save this one, buy 1 new cylinder head. We're gonna see if we can get 2 new pistons, send the rest out to get cleaned and inspected for any damage, and then get 2 new pistons and swap them over to our spare engine block. This has Waggler connecting rods. We'll get those inspected, and everything bottom end. Actually, the engine oil looks fantastic. I mean, it's a little bit dark, but other than that, I don't think we're gonna go back with the total seal piston rings. I mean, really, we didn't have any issues with them, but you know, they do say when you swap over to the total seal piston rings, you're supposed to break them in on a dyno, you know, right away, get them to a high RPM, get them hot, get them to break in. And I don't have a dyno here, obviously. We got 2-bay shop. I don't have quick and easy access to a dyno to be able to break in total seal rings. I don't know if I really noticed that big of a difference switching to the total seal piston rings either. Regardless, we are going to get this tore down the rest of the way, and we're gonna go ahead and see what parts we can salvage. A lot of the hard parts, obviously, we can still save, you know, take manifold gaskets, oil pan, you know, all these things. This I would not consider A total catastrophic failure definitely did some damage though, for sure. You know, it did smoke two of the pistons. One of the cylinder heads are trashed, the turbo's trashed. Lubrication system and fuel system still in great shape. We are going to send out the injectors to be tested at RCD, get a replacement injector for cylinder 3. The second one back on the passenger side, it got completely trashed. Maybe they can just throw a new nozzle on it and rebalance it to the rest of the set. We're gonna go ahead and get all 8 of them tested. We wanna have this ready to run the whole ODSS circuit next year. So we're gonna be out there running the 670 index class, the entire circuit next year. A lot of work to do. In the meantime, we're probably going to go ahead and pull this transmission out. I've been wanting to switch to a 4R with a PCS controller. This is a full billet 5R. We've put about 1180 horsepower through this. We've done lots of dyno pulls, lots of dirt drags. The thing has been pretty much bulletproof. Currently our burnout truck is in need of a transmission. The transmission that came out of the burnout truck is currently at a local transmission shop, Vern's Transmission, getting a Warren competition rebuild kit. But until we get that back, we do need a transmission in that truck for some other events we have coming up. So we'd like to have this thing up and running by sometime early spring. Yes, they posted. This kind of continuation of the race truck situation, or not situation, just we blew it up. We also hurt the transmission. They're like, you know what, let's throw that thing in old burnout truck while we're still waiting for the actual burnout truck transmission to come back from Vern's, and it no longer has overdrive, and pretty sure we smoked the transmission pump. It's got low line pressure, so we are going to have to pull that back out, send it off to Warren to get refreshed and fixed. But in the meantime, hopefully we will get back the actual transmission from Vern's to be able to at least have a truck that is functional. I put a post up when we finally tore down the engine, and so I just put a post up. I don't know if you can really see this, but I was just like, hey, has anyone had a valve break where the valve retainer sits? Kill Devil Diesel aluminum big valve race port heads, only about 1 year racing on them, not upset. Just curious if anyone else had seen this before. So I wasn't calling out Kill Devil, I just wanted to make that clear. But I was just, there was some pretty severe damage that was done both to the engine and the cylinder head. Was it a defective valve that broke and dropped into the cylinder, or was it simply we got it too hot, or what the deal was? Had a couple of people say, hey, seen it before, high pressure springs, dig into the locks, dig the locks into the valve, pinch it off, high horsepower problems. So I just said I would pay good money for some better valves. And Jason Alderson, I believe he's the owner of Kill Devil Diesel, he said, hey, these are USA made valves and cost 50 bucks each. These aren't cheap valves. We've run hundreds of these and hundreds in street trucks and literally the fastest race trucks on the planet. This is the first issue we've ever seen. If it's a defective valve, we'll make it right. If it's some external factor, we can work with the customer and help identify what's going on. And I'm willing to pay to figure out what happened. I'd like to get the heads and all components back for eval. We've never had a valve issue before. If it hurt anything, we'd be happy to help get her back on the road. He said he would do whatever, block, machining, pistons, etc. No cost. So he said, let me know if we can help. Give our support team a shout. So I called them, and they actually asked us, we want to have the whole short block sent in. So we got everything crated up. Regardless, I'd like to at least figure out what failed, what broke, so that we can make sure, or attempt to make sure it doesn't happen again. We were turning it pretty high RPM, 4,800 RPM. It does have higher valve springs and valve reliefs cut, so we really shouldn't have had any valve issues regardless. But we're gonna go figure it out, get these finish wrapping this up, and get her out to Kill Devil Diesel.